Okay, I'm having trouble uploading the files. You don't care about this. Here, it's the third file. I thought I was going to be able to do this basic kind of corporate finance and project finance in one video, and I'm sorry, it's taken me a little bit longer. So the idea is to put one single graph into these wonderful PowerPoint slides that I really never use really much anymore. I think if you have a class with PowerPoint slides, you fall asleep. Okay, now, what I have done since the last video is all I have done is made a little graph. Remember, we had some shortcut keys and all of this. And what I'm trying to show is the difference between project finance and corporate finance. And I'm going to try to show that the project finance is a lot about DSCR. Now, of course, there could be a tail. Of course, well, there could be an additional buffer here. And in corporate finance, you don't use the same ratios because you have these big refinancing things occurring. And I put refinancing in one scale and EBITDA and interest in another one. We have much more coverage, but we have to keep some money for these refinancings, and we have to continue growing and making some capex. So we can't look at the same ratios because they're kind of fundamentally different ideas. And in this Sun Edison, we talked, well, is that corporate finance? Had some project financings to be sure, had some corporate financings, projects probably, I'm not sure. It might have been some really stupid projects that banks lend to, but we had a lot of transparency and we could look at the DSCR. Problem with the corporate finance is these ratios got so bad that they couldn't refinance. That's corporate finance. Now, this graph is bad. You see this thing down here? That's a little bad. Let's make this graph again. Okay, so there'll be a tiny bit of Excel here. Now, to make this graph, number one, no X scale, no X scale, no X scale. This is a blank. Shift Control right arrow twice, and then press the Shift and 8 key to select. I'm not sure I like that, but I like it a lot better than attempting to hold the Control button. And then you have to use the mouse. And then you press Shift Control right arrow again twice, and alternate an F1. Perhaps I'll cut this a little bit, and then we'll go and paste it up here. Okay, so that's my only, hopefully my only Excel thing in this little video. Okay, so that it's supposed to demonstrate that you have to look at different ratios. It's not perfect, is it? And when you look at different ratios, it's supposed to demonstrate that the problem with corporate finance is refinancing. Problem with DSCR is project finance is just financing. Now I put a tiny bit of volatility in, so these DSCRs are very much the same. And I said the project finance volatility, let's make that 5%. And then what you can do is, no, that's stupid. Yes, I want to save it. Now, instead of doing that, let's press Control S. It's just like pressing F9. So then we can see if, basically, I know this is, I think Monte Carlo simulation is not really very useful very often, but in this case we can kind of see, is the DSCR big enough to handle our volatility? We could, that's what really P90 and P50, that's what they're all about. Okay, it's just a kind of different way. Now if I press 10% volatility, we get, in this case, we get a bigger volatility, but we get a lot more defaults. Okay, and I hope you're seeing the defaults are like this, whenever the blue line is less than the other line. Now, if you can't remember what we kind of did, this was in corporate, all we did was make a little bit of a time series function where we said, okay, let's take this last value, allow it to grow, and then take the last value, multiply it by the volatility and a standard normal number. I don't know what else to call that. Okay. Now, if we do the same thing for corporate finance, let's put some volatility in. Maybe, well, let's leave this 5%. Now, 5% would not be very high here. I don't think it won't really do much. But it did a little bit there, so that maybe the real question is, does this, I meant to do, good, I gotta do it again. I meant to do the other ratio. I'm really sorry, because it seems that Standard & Poor's would look at debt to EBITDA, EBITDA to FFO. I didn't make FFO, I could have easily, but shift F8, or FFO to debt, you know, it's all, there's so much multi-collinearity in the corporate finance ratios. They're all, as well, debt to EBITDA and FFO to debt essentially measure the same thing. I didn't mean to put it in F11, I meant to press alternate F1. Okay. Excuse me if you're angry with me because I made this mistake. Okay, oh shit. Okay, and then, so, here we have it. Let's put it a little bit like this. Okay, in this case, it's good news. We can refinance because it went down. Now I'm pressing the, oops, where did I put my corporate volatility? Let's put 5% corporate volatility. Control S. And then, you know, you're getting some with lower, that's pretty good. And there's not much happening. It's you've got enough, it can refinance with volatility of 5%. Now the real problem with corporations is that they can have sudden surplus capacity. You can't really use this volatility much at all. It's really a distorted concept. What happens is they can have 30% volatility sometimes because they have these enormous surplus capacities. And also the CapEx can be volatile in itself. So in this case, we get to this level and we can't refinance. And this one, we have some troubles too. And in this one, it gets up here and our cash flow is too low. We could refinance in all these years. Now maybe I did a little bit extreme on the volatility. That one is okay, but this one we get a problem again. So we're implicitly trying to get volatility. Let's put 10%. 10%, maybe that's a little bit more reasonable. Now you could be pressing F9 and I'm putting this file in the on the page in the website, on the page. I'll go to my Firefox and I have my arrogant little named page come up, and I'm going to put this file along with the slides we've been working on together and along with one of these videos right here on this page. Okay, and I think I'm going to put that other one called Corporate and Project Finance here, but there'll be a little set of videos, and eventually I'll have there'll be about 6 or 7 videos. I'm going to have some questions at the end. Nobody's done this yet, I'm admitting this, but if you fill out the questions, and you get them right, and you pay me, not much, I'm going to put your name as a famous name. I'm going to make a new page on the website just that records your name for watching the videos that I make. And I think your boss should be an idiot if he or she would not give you a raise for all of your work. Okay, so that illustrates really how volatility comes into play and how corporate finance and project finance are different. I'm saving it for the last time, and I'm finishing it. Goodbye.